Boom. We're officially recording. All right. We probably still have some stragglers because I posted a link into the thing, but let's go ahead and get started. All right. So welcome everybody to this month's awareness group meeting. So we might again have some stragglers coming in, but thank you for stopping in with us, everybody. So we got Aaron, Tiho, Renee, John, and Paris. And for those that may or may not be seeing this video for the first time, our group is charged with helping increase awareness of DNN both within and outside of the DNN ecosystem. So anything that we can do towards that goal. So we're going to, go around the horn because that's our current format. But in general, I just want to see like what's been happening over the past month and it's what we can do to continue to push our goals for the next month. So basically, for those that may be interested in joining our group, you don't have to be a developer. But what all I ask of the group is that we constantly keep in contact and talk to each other. If you can, champion or co-champion something, and at minimum do at least 2 things a month. And what I like to try to encourage people to do is generate a snowball effect, which is the whole idea of empowering somebody else to do what you're doing or what somebody else could be doing. So a lot of people are like, oh wait, I didn't know I could blog on a site or whatever the thing is. So helping people get connected with those types of ideas. And just in general, here's the list of things that we as a group had decided that we need to focus on over the coming months and years. So reviving the user group program on our website, on the community website, dnncommunity.org, increasing social activity in general across all channels, increasing number of blogs both on our site and on other sites, so cross-posting, and creating more YouTube videos and tutorial videos, primarily on YouTube, but wherever. Having training courses out there, hopefully building a curriculum, increasing the number of new and updated open source extensions, maintaining and improving the .org website, putting more themes out there that are open source that have more contemporary looks and feels. Look and feel, that sounds good. Improving our community dashboard to help us always understand the health of our community and the direction we need to go in terms of metrics. And the speaker program, helping user groups find speakers and matching them up and helping speakers have presentations that they can pull from. So keeping all that in mind, I'm going to put us back into gallery view for now, and I'm going to continue taking notes on my side so that we can have this for the group to share in Slack. But I should have taken notes beforehand, but my guinea pigs made a mess, and so I was cleaning up when I first woke up. So as far as I'll go ahead and start. I had to do some updates to the .org website over the last month, which included revising some of the permissions, and they weren't the ones you were talking about, Tiho. I think somebody went behind me and then fixed those, and then you fixed them again. I say fixed. So we had some pages that maybe shouldn't have been public yet, and things like that. And so we added some security roles as well for some of the new pages that had been created. So for those of you that may not be aware, on the website we don't have granular permissions per se, but we have granular roles. So that way, if we want to give somebody full edit access to a page, we can do that without giving them more than they need. Your cup's green. And or we can go down to the module level if we so desire. So yeah, so we did that early on, so that way we don't have. One of the things that happened now since I used to work for DNN Corp is the cluster of permissions that we had on that site before the relaunch. It was just like, you had to just know what was there, because people would get in there and then all of a sudden like, well, I don't think this is here, I'll create a role. And then like you got roles of all kinds of different names and all kinds of things. So We're pretty clean on this site, which is awesome. And I don't even know how many roles we have. Probably like 40 or 50. And then on the open source front, I've been playing with prompt, guys. I don't know if any of y'all have written any code to create any prompt commands, but we're going to have some prompt commands coming in Hotcakes. We got some very important updates coming there, so do expect a release of Hotcakes in the next 2 weeks or so. And let's see here. What else? Prompt is really cool, so I'm going to be adding that to the generator as well. So there'll be a sample project for from the Upendo DNN generator so that you can use. Oh, that got updated. So the minimum version of DNN supported in the generator when you create a new project, if you update it, is 9.4.4 at this point. So we raised that from 9.3 or 9.2. I think it was 9.2. What else? I'll come up with more. I'm sure I did more. I helped proofread a handful of blogs that some other people might be mentioning today. And yeah, just keeping the plate spinning. So I'm going to go down my list here. And so for right now, the list appears to be alphabetical. We're going to start with Aaron, or move on to Aaron.
I'm always first when it comes to alphabetical. A little late for me this month, but I've been talking to, or had a good chat with Jeremy and David about talking about an idea. The idea is not so technically formed yet, but it's more about the idea of changing the culture in the DNN community to encourage people to share what they're working on a lot more. We had a good chat for about an hour or so, just trying to figure out ways to, because it just started with where I've noticed over the years really that no one really shares what they're working on. Rarely it's, even if it's a finished product or just something that they're working on and happy to share. And I think that there's a lot of value in just constantly sharing, like, this is what I'm building, because it allows both the person who's sharing to get feedback on it, both good and bad, or, help basically. But it also shows other people who are maybe not so aware of what can be built in a certain module or in DNN in general. And so it might give them inspiration and help them. And so creating a dialogue around real examples and real working things, I just thought would be a really useful thing for the community as a whole. So we're kind of exploring ideas for that. And we're still kind of exploring ideas for that, but mostly just changing the culture of it, I think, is the interesting aspect.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that in Slack, right?
That's right. Yeah. I wasn't expecting there to be as much action on it, I guess. Like, I just was kind of putting it out there as just a general thought. And I was like, oh, wow, there's actually people who might want this to happen and maybe want something to be created. So it was kind of fun exploring that idea.
I think maybe there are a lot more videos currently than there used to be about small things. So like the Olive and Jero videos, or the DNN Sharp is now doing all these short videos about features. So instead of doing the entire hour of low code cafe, there are also a lot of video snippets, if you will. So I think there's a lot of demand for that. Is that a little bit in the way you're thinking as well?
Yeah. So initially what it started out was more like the idea of a show and tell, and it could be something that you're working on. So videos, I think, that are good. But I guess in my mind, it was more idea of like dropping a link or even just a screenshot of like, hey, check this out, and allowing someone to actually go to that place and actually use the module and really experience it. More in that way. And then people can ask questions of, oh, how did you do that? Or I didn't know that that module was capable of that kind of functionality. And so it's more of like that kind of idea. So yeah, we're exploring ideas still, and we're going to start designing something. And but we're totally just open to ideas, and if everyone wants to join in and contribute, that'd be great.
Cool.
I just tried to find it, but I guess I shut it down. I used to have, I think, DNNmediamodule.com, where, you know, because I used to lead that module. It doesn't really get used as much as it used to for lots of good reasons. But that's one of the things I kind of did for that, is like I created a website where there's a page for every feature, right? But that's a lot of work, obviously. And you you reminded me, Aaron, that I also had a meeting with Jay this past month. We went over the requirements for adding some new charts to our dashboard for the community, so we can see like trends of activity for things like, you know, GitHub pull requests and stuff like that. So we refined the requirements for that, so that way we can hopefully get that built soon. Cool. Anything else for you, Aaron? Did you have a blog or something too? Or
I do have a blog. It's I got some things in the works, but I should have something in the next couple of weeks.
Sweet, sweet. Cool. All right. So next, going down our list, it's still mostly in alphabetical order. That's odd, because normally, like, you can watch Slack, or not Slack, what is this, Zoom. You usually watch it completely rearrange itself left and right. So next down the list, I'm going to move on. Actually, I'm not going to move on to the next guy down the list, because something he has to report may or may not be the more exciting thing for the entire meeting. So I'm going to skip him for now. And we're going to go to Paris. Well, we're not going to go to Paris, but we're going to go to Paris.
Right. I just posted a blog yesterday about 8 reasons to use DNN in 2020. The blog was an excuse for me not to launch my new website. It took me ages to launch my new website. So basically, the blog that you've seen and the website both are brand new, both launched yesterday. And that's done in DNN. So yeah, that's one of the things that I've been working on for a while now. Other than that, trying to get a bit more involved with the website, and I've been answering a few questions, asking a few questions myself in the forums. And yeah, I think one of the things that we need to work on the website is the messaging. And before we do that, the menu structure. I think as it stands at the moment, it could be a bit overwhelming for new users who come to .NET Nuke and they see the menu structure, but .NET Nuke, history, resources, white papers. We have a lot of useful information, definitely, but I think if we can consolidate that into the menu structure a bit better, that would make things a bit easier. And one of the ways to do that would, in my head, would be to implement a mega menu, such that you can have fewer options, but once you open the mega menu, you have more resources available to you. Maybe consolidate a few of the resources onto single pages, rather than having them on multiple pages. For example, if you have the history of DNN, you have use cases of DNN, that sort of thing. Instead of keeping that on 2 pages, make it one really long landing page sort of thing. And that should make it a bit easier for people to know where to find things, rather than having to change from one page to the other every few minutes to read something else.
I completely agree with the navigation. So when we first put the site together and first launched it, it had a slightly different, maybe drastically different kind of structure. But it's grown over time, and so yeah, it's definitely time to revisit that for sure. It's a great idea. Are you if I remember correctly in Slack, you had mentioned like taking it on as kind of like a thing where you're going to suggest what it should be. Is that still the direction you're taking?
Yeah, that is still the plan. I haven't got around to doing it as yet. I just spoke about it a few days ago, so I didn't get a chance to work on it. But I have done quite a few mega menus in the past, so I'm quite willing to put a design together, share it with the community, see what we think of it, and once everyone's happy with it, we can look into implementing it into the theme. And I'm assuming that would be the new theme that is currently in the works.
Hold on. We'll talk about that soon. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Anything else on your side, Paris?
No, that's it for now.
All right. Okay, excellent. Thank you, sir. We're going to keep moving down the line here. So next will be Renee. Hello, Renee.
Hello. I honestly don't have many updates. It's been a bad couple of months around here, short-staffed and everything else going on. So I don't have a lot of updates of things I've done. I will say a couple of comments just in general. The confusion that I see going on with all the releases from my perspective as a, say a hosting company, it's very confusing and it's so many of them, like you can't keep up. And then with all the releases, like, well, just too much going on. It almost seems like at times without release, it seems to be every week there's something. So that's been a little frustrating to deal with. I think the other thing, just from clients using the sites, the DNN original site versus DNN community, one being updated, one not being updated, is also causing some confusion out there. So that's just something I've noticed in the last 2 months that's been a source of issues for me.
Yeah. So those two things. Well, first of all, you haven't done nothing. You've been releasing sites. Yeah. So
I have. It's just been crazy.
yeah. So one of the things that for anybody releasing sites, we do have the showcase module. I believe it's live now. So you can add your own sites to the showcase page.
Okay.
You know, because Jay kept saying, I'll release it as soon as everybody says okay. We keep saying okay. So I just went and did it during last meeting. So so anybody should be able to add their own showcase sites. So add them all. Now, regarding there's two things there. So the releases, it's kind of a funny thing because, you know, whenever there's so much noise about like being too many releases or too fast, like it's slow, you know, there's sometimes some concerted effort to slow it down. And then we start to get the complaints on the other side. We're like, there's not enough releases to address these things. We need to get to this faster. So it's like we never win. So, but there is a little bit more noise now on the non-official releases. So like the release candidates.
Yeah.
So that way people like know that it's out there and can test. Because like if there's not enough noise on that, we can't say that like, hey, we told you this was coming. You should have tested. We didn't try to break that. You know, that kind of thing. So it's like I don't know. It's a difficult line to walk for sure.
It definitely is. I think, you know, for me, the big issue was I didn't know about the problems with 9.6 until I talked to you guys. And so now I have lots of sites to go back and fix still. So I don't know if there's like a better way to communicate that.
Yeah, are you talking about the Telerik stuff or something else?
There was something with creating huge log files or something. Everyone said don't upgrade, but that was after the fact, after I had done, you know,
yeah,
many sites.
960 is good, 961 is good, 962 had the log file thing, where for those of you that may not know, the persona bar would add a lot more logging than it needed to. So on a busy site, that created some extraordinarily large log files, at least much larger than anybody would be expecting. Yeah.
Yeah, well, to be honest, the thing I don't understand is why we don't put a notification on the downloads page for 962 that there is an issue. Because that prevents other people from upgrading. I think it's, yeah, because, you know, where you download it, if there's a notification there, please note that this and this issue is in this version. I mean, I think that would make a huge difference. Yeah,
that would definitely be helpful, especially for those that are not developers. Sometimes the information listed in GitHub is beyond understandable for non-developers.
Yeah.
Complex.
Yes, exactly. Like you might not even realize what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's also a problem. If we had somebody who had a marketing brain that would help write the release notes, that would change everything. Yeah, I completely get it. But I put a note
somebody
down
that would have a marketing brain cell would already be enough.
So I put a note down here for the leadership team to bring up about like, that's a good point, because there's a lot of projects and commercial products even where it's like, here's some known issues. So that way you're like, oh wait, before I click, known issues.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
Yeah. So I put a note down here as part of hopefully that can become part of the process. So thank you for bringing that up. That's a really good way to address that. And regarding the .com website not being updated, there's not a dang thing we can do about that.
I know, it's just like force of habit. People go there and they're like, no, you gotta go to the other site now.
Yeah. So for all the pages that we had any type of control over, we placed, excuse me, we placed messages on it saying, hey, this site's not valid anymore, go here. And that's the best we can do. Yeah, like we can bring it up with them, but
Yeah, they're not gonna do
they don't have
anything.
anybody working on it. Like nobody works on anything on that side of the fence unless there's a support ticket placed, right? Like they even have a typo that's been on the homepage for, I don't know, at least a year, I think. Like, and to be honest, I didn't notice it until somebody pointed it out. I'm like, oh yeah. Okay, let's see here. Good comment, Jeremy. All right, so we're gonna go. Do you have anything else, Renee?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Going down the horn, as we say, we're gonna next go to Jeremy. Mr. Jeremy, what you got going on, sir?
Can you hear me? No feedback?
I can give you feedback about hearing you.
All right, so anyhow, got one of the two blog posts that I was background working on finally finished. It ended up being a really quick short post that turned into a really long rambling post. So anyhow, worked out well. And other than that, we've got all kinds of cool new stuff coming and sites coming. And we just, for the first time ever, got some cool web API stuff feeding into an app that will be live and in the Android and Apple store soon. The back end is all DNN and the front end just caches a lot of stuff, but phones home to DNN for all of its data. It's for a hospital, so it's got locations, providers, physicians, departments. It's amazing. A lot of fun to work on.
Make sure
that's all I got.
Make sure to like add your stuff to the showcase if applicable, and brag about it on the Slack channel when it launches.
There will be lots of bragging.
Awesome. It would also be cool to, like, if you have time for it, like a blog post of, like, you know, the fun things, the 3 fun things and the 3 big challenges maybe.
Yeah, actually I did start. I got a paragraph into the blog post where I'm going to basically just do the hopefully 15-minute version of here's the way you get data out of 2Sexy as a web API and it works and you should try it and blah, blah, blah.
I like the blah, blah, blah part. It's fun. All right, thank you, Jeremy. And I posted a link to that blog in the chat for everybody to get to, so as well as the one earlier that who was it? It was Paris that mentioned. All right, so moving down the horn here, Jeremy.
Oh, and I wanted to say out loud, Paris, that blog post you did was awesome. Thank you. Someone needed to do that.
Yes, 100%. All right. Who's next? We're going to go to the next J. John Slater, not Ballard. He loves this part because he's going to tell us, I didn't do anything this month. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, I mean, same as last month. I have some stuff to talk about after the recording is over.
Ooh, that's the fun stuff. Okay, we'll come back to you. All right. Okay, coming down the horn here. I think we're on the T's now. We're gonna go to Timo. Timo, what you been working on in the DNN world this past month?
Well, client stuff, obviously, and actually yesterday and today I finally created an open content template with which I can generate content for DNN docs.
Yeah, I saw some sort of GitHub commit, but I didn't actually have time to go look at it. So tell us more about that.
Well, the thing is, well, years ago, I initially created an overview of all the skin objects that we have in DNN,
Mhm.
and that should be transferred to DNN docs. And the problem is that tables in Markdown, it sucks. So I actually thought I'm gonna do a one every day, but then it was so much work that I've decided now that I created an open content template with all the fields that are in there, and it will generate the Markdown for me, so I can just copy it into GitHub and commit.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it was actually not that much work, to be honest. It took me a few hours, and now I can structurally manage the skin object information and push it to GitHub. So it's still copy
Would
paste,
it
but I
be
mean,
possible to incorporate that in either DNN docs or, if not possible, DNNcommunity.org, so you're not the only one who can contribute to the DNN docs?
well, to answer the answer is no, because DNN docs is completely based off stuff that's coming from GitHub, and I know that the disadvantage is that I mean, you could in principle put it anywhere else, but I think for now, theoretically that sounds really cool. But the thing is that up until now, I think I've been the only one interested in editing this part of the website of the DNN docs. So I don't know if it's really worth it to spend stuff on having other people. Because actually, if somebody would make a change to it, it would be really easy for me to just incorporate that change into my data too. Yeah.
So
By the way,
it's not a version that clowns like me could use to contribute to DNN docs. It's very specific.
it's only I made it for specifically for the page that's being used for the page for the skin objects or theme objects has a specific layout and has a specific tokens and specific fields, and I built it specifically for that.
Okay.
I mean, you could create another one for other stuff, but I just made it for that right now because I just want to get the stuff done.
Right.
But the advantage of it is that I can also I'm also rendering it as HTML, and I don't know if you've ever seen that page, but if you look at, for instance, the breadcrumbs page, which is the first one I did, it also has some examples. And I'm the next because it's a Razor template. What I want to do is create an example theme also from that open content template with all, so I'm listing the examples and I wanted to create a theme for it too, and that I will put on GitHub. I'll put this on GitHub too, but I mean, for now it's just about making it easier for myself to manage that content.
Nice.
Well,
that sounds cool. It would almost be cool to have a demo of that maybe at some point.
Yeah, sure. It's actually not that it's actually not that difficult to do something like this, because it could, if there are other pages that are similar, you could make a template for them too, and make managing them way easier for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a DNN Dave video. Okay, cool. Anything else from your side, Timo?
Yeah, a bit of forum stuff, but it's all.
Yeah, I've been also participating, but mostly in the open Slack or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Tiho before we get to our headliner. Tiho.
Yeah. Besides setting the permissions correctly, I have a question because last time we discussed that there should be a checkbox for the extensions page to filter on commercial or free. Is there someone who can add these checkboxes? Then I'll start adding content.
Oh, on the Forge page?
Yeah.
Let's go there. I don't remember that conversation. Wait, we're gonna put commercial modules here too?
That was what was
you're
discussed
talking
last time.
that's open content. I'll do that.
But
What do you want? An extra checkbox? Because I missed that last time. You want an extra checkbox whether it's commercial or not?
Yeah, whether it's commercial or free.
Yeah, but you can
Yes.
already do that. It's just a category. You can edit those categories. I'll show
Okay.
you. It's very easy.
Yeah, last time I tried that, there was a big error. But,
Oh, okay. So
It's
what do you
ju-
want?
ju-
You want
just
a
one
checkbox
step.
commercial or?
well, free would make more sense, I think, because
Well,
that's
right now
what you want to
they're
fill.
all free.
Yeah, because that's how we started. And last month,
Oh, wait.
there
But
were
what?
some people who said, well, there are great modules, but they're not always free or open source. So
Yeah, right now,
that's where,
right now there's no categories there.
that's correct.
Yeah. We also have something
Yeah,
called type.
they're types, not categories.
Yeah, well,
But,
the types are
I just wanted to mention that if, because I think the discussion was about the DNN store being really outdated, and there's the store on the one hand, and there's the Forge on the other hand, and why both is not representing a proper view on everything we have. So that's how we talked about it.
So one of the things that not everybody
Refresh the
may be aware
page. It's done.
one of the things, so that's open content, everybody.
Yeah.
One of the things that maybe not everybody's aware of, though, is that the store is supposedly going to be relaunched here very shortly. It's using Not Commerce. Ash did a partial presentation on it over the most recent SoFried meeting. I'll let it speak for itself. You should watch the video.
Yeah. So is that, and later this month there's the DNN Global where Ash will also be presenting. So, but that's that. One is that I've discussed with Stefan that I'll be sponsoring a new connector, the Google Tag Manager connector. So I hope we can get that done because it's about time. It's one of those little things that, well, if you just don't do it, nobody's going to do it and nobody's going to profit from it. So I hope to get that out as first pluggable extension so it's not mandatory, but you can plug it in. I want to just draw some attention of a new issue I created for adding nodes to the IP filter. So if there's someone in here that says, well, it's just one extra column for the IP filter table, and it's really, really, really easy. It's about as easy as adding a category to an open content template. Then you can make a couple of people very happy.
You're talking about IP filter for visiting the website, not for
No.
logging in.
Yes, for logging in for admins.
But
because I have a customer who has now about 20 IPs whitelisted, and we have no idea why.
Well, that's what makes it exciting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Sorry, but I don't really understand what the question is. Maybe
So
Well, I have a list of 20 IPs, and if I would log an IP as whitelist for admins, it would be great if I could add a note like, this is John during the
Oh, a
holidays.
note. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
Oh, you
Sorry.
thought N-O-D-E. No,
Yes.
N-O-T-E.
Yes. Yes. Okay, a note.
Like a
Yes.
T of
Okay.
Timo.
Clear. I'll shut up now.
So that would be a React slash structural change in the database as well as the API itself. It wouldn't be a difficult change to make, but it would require that a person knows how to do those three things.
Yeah, if most of the work requires someone to know what he's doing. Yeah, I'll write that down. Note to self.
Okay. Yeah, that would be kind of fun to do actually, because I haven't actually touched those React things, but I have just gotten through all the 7 videos that Peter Donker did on like how to build the DNN source. I highly recommend them. They are amazing. And it's like 45 minutes of your day, and it's awesome. Cool. Anything else, Tia?
Not for now.
All right.
It's design time.
Yes, it is. So our headliner for the day, Mr. John Ballard, everybody. What news have you, sir?
Well, we started locally skinning. We've been a little bit behind. We're upgrading 540 DNN sites because of the Trellerick issue.
Is that all? 540?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're about half of the way through. So all of our front end guys have been pretty busy this month, but got a good start locally. I do need to talk to somebody about getting them access to get a copy of the site down so we can integrate the content and, you know, lay out pages and stuff. Is that you, Will? Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
there's just so everybody knows, as on the leadership level, we were making sure that like we don't fall susceptible to the Mack truck thing, right? Like if I walked across the street and a Mack truck hit me, like somebody else could still pick up the ball and roll. So for every single area, whether it's support, infrastructure, or whatever, host, there's no less than 3 people that have access, just so you know.
awesome. Also, we had a little bit of discussion, good feedback from, I think it was Jay maybe, on kind of like redesigning the content and making it more, you know, appropriate. And I think that's a really good goal. I'd love to get into that next. You know, my thought was we just kind of get a new skin up there, make it a little more modern looking. But along that lines, I started writing some blogs about maybe how you could use DNN for marketing or how you could use DNN for IT or how developers like DNN. And I was going to release them as blogs, but it occurred to me that maybe that would be some really good content for the site, you know, like, you know, tell me who you are when you get there. You know, I'm a developer, I'm a marketer, I'm a IT department, you know, manager, you know, so why should I use DNN? So I think I'm going to hold those back, and maybe I'll put them up and get some feedback from you guys, you know, on what I've got so far. Because I think, you know, we're really, at least when we sell DNN sites, we're appealing to kind of 3 different people. Usually it's, you know, their in-house IT, it's their development team, and, you know, the marketing team. So, so that's where we're at. Nothing too exciting to report, but I'm hoping maybe end of the month we'll have something live. So.
Sweet. Yeah. So I'll we can sync up whenever it's convenient for you to get it back up. I'm probably going to perform a cleanse script on it first before I hand it off for obvious reasons. We got EU and California and Massachusetts users, so we'll have to cleanse the database, and we got a script for that, so that'll only take a minute. But the other thing behind that too is like, that sounds like a really cool thing for the homepage. Like, I'm a developer, like here's why, next step. That sounds awesome.
I'm not a developer, so truth be told, I'll probably need some help for some of you guys. I mean, I can touch the marketing side. And, you know.
Well, in this group, we're not all developers either.
Yeah.
We're a big mix.
So.
Sweet. Yeah, so for anybody who's not fully in the know on this, John and his team has very generously donated time and effort to create a new design. And there was a consensus on, and it gave us 2 options. And this is in the goals.dash website channel in Slack. So I think it was June 12th when that news came out. It's very big news, so I remember that. And so we chose option 2 as a kind of an informal polling, and so they're running with the ball, and it's very, very exciting, and it's a very good design.
It's a good start for sure, and
yeah.
I'm sure we can improve upon it. So excited about it.
No, Tiho. We don't have timelines. This is volunteer effort. Very cool. So, ooh, I almost lost my mouse. Caught it. All right. Let's see here. Oops. I didn't mean to
Paris's
click on
point
that.
about the menu too, I'd love to dive into that with you if you need some help. But I think there's definitely better ways to organize the menu too. So we were planning on just recreating kind of what's there and making it a little more modern. But if you want to jump in at some point, I don't know how we coordinate, so we're not overwriting each other's work. But maybe we finish the skin and then we work through what should be in the menu, and then you can take the menu and install it.
Yeah, I think it's so his first step is probably imagining what it should be, and I think that like the next step y'all should be probably be thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So just let me know when's good for you to like. I'll just do the backup and.
Yeah, we need it. So whenever you can grab it for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, I should be able to do that today.
Awesome.
All right. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I have. I think everybody had a chance to have the regular thing. So if there's nothing else, so we have our open forum now. So this is the recorded open forum. So if you have anything that you don't want to be on the recording, don't speak up now. But is there anything for the open forum that you'd like to bring up that maybe you forgot from earlier or anything else? Going once, going twice. All right, well, happy Halloween month. We're going to stop the recording now. Thank you for watching.